Big Jeeves, third episode of the Slapdown. It keeps on rolling week after week. We keep on getting
Yeah.
a gift that keeps on giving every
Mhm.
Wednesday. And what's better than power slap and gambling, my man? Because I don't know.
Hey, this sport is made for this, and I'm so glad we got a fantasy aspect this season, and we're finally starting to see some scores on the board. So I can't wait to get into this and talk about it with y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's do a recap for everybody. There's two
Mhm.
ways that you can get points in the Stat Hero and Power Slap fantasy game. And that right off the bat is for knockdowns, you get 1
Mhm.
point. You can lose half a point for a foul, which we're seeing take place a lot here, just like we did in Road to the Title Season 1. The fouls are coming into play. And then the second way that you get points is for the finish and the victory. So, so the earlier you finish round 1, 10 points goes to a decision. You get 3 points. Drops down 8 for a second round victory, 5 for a third round victory. So let's get into it. Let's recap last week's episode and the fights that took place. Started off with Joker Slap, Ryan Wallace going up against Serene Kamsa. Let's do a review. Ding, I called you Ding. Big Jeeves. Let's do that review, my man. Go over it.
Yeah, so Ryan Wallace ended up coming out with 0 points in this one. Kamsa did deliver for a 7.5 points. So if you had him in your lineup, you are at the top of the pile sort of right now. He did have one foul. So we did get to see that, Corey, like you were talking about, where fouls and fouls can lose you points. So we do see that he's at 7.5, not the full 8 that he could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Ryan at 0 points, obviously, within this matchup. So, as the way it looks right now, Ryan Wallace out of the competition. So if you had him in your Stat Hero lineup, unfortunately, he's not going to accumulate any points for you. One of the things that's incredibly interesting about this format and things that we don't know in the wild card is that each fighter doesn't get the same amount of fights. So if you get eliminated, you don't get, the accumulating fights. If you had someone like, Ryan Wallace in your lineup, unfortunately, he's getting you no points.
That's it.
And so the unknown, the variable, the bracket style that was set up, we don't really particularly know. And so kind of interesting to see how all this is going to be gamified. I think this is the first time that it has been done, that, they ran fantasy for a reality TV series. And I think you're going to see this, happen time and time again. We know that, in speaking with Frank from Power Slap, they are committed to doing the third season as well for Road to the Title. So I'm sure we're going to see an evolution on this. This is the first time that they're running this. And I know Stat Hero, back from some of the main cards that they did as well. Their point system has evolved over time. So we're seeing that. The second fight, of the night.
Yeah.
A bit of a twist, obviously. Our guy Miles Jackson, not having done anything, comes out with 10 points.
10 points. Top of the pack now because of that.
Yeah. So 10 points in this match. Brian Ellis for his foul gets -5 points. I believe, and I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure that was a ding recommendation in the heavyweight. So.
And, Miles Jackson, he's got the 10 points now. He's at the top of the pack. So if you guys did roll the dice and put him in your lineups, it's looking good for you right now. But as we see with every numbered event with Power Slap, it's what happens at the table. So I'm sort of cool that, he gets to compete again after getting knocked out. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, because the interesting part of this that we don't know about, but we do know from the context of what we know as part of the Athletic Commission and how these things are done. So the house essentially was filmed in 2 weeks. So the maximum amount of fights that these athletes will have is 2, because the Athletic Commission will not let a fighter fight, any more than 7 days apart. So a guy like Miles Jackson, who gets KO'd like this, would typically get a 30, 60, 90-day suspension, depending on how bad it is.
Severity, yep.
So we don't know if Miles Jackson, even being the winner, if he's going to get a second fight in this or not. If you watch the show, there's no indication of, they haven't made any mention of it, if he's going home or if he's still staying in the house. So, from that standpoint, we don't know at this particular time. But I mean, looking at the way, the early points are racking up, 10 points from each fighter in your line is probably getting you past that pay line. It's probably getting you a prize somewhere. This is turning out to be incredibly difficult for, a lot of people. And it's still early. A lot of things could change because you may have fighters that haven't fought yet that are goose eggs, which would keep you down the ranking. So don't get discouraged. You said it once. By the time it locks, your roster's set for the entire 12 weeks. So make sure you keep checking back time and time again. Let's bring up the leaderboard of all the points up until this time. So my boy Logan Greenhall, who I've been to the moon and back, is in that top spot with 11 points. If you have Logan obviously in your captain spot, you get an additional bonus, an extra 0.5 bonus on that score. Got Miles Jackson coming in at 10 points. Serene Kamsa 7.5, and then Danny Van Heerden. We haven't forgot about Danny, but he obviously got the victory there. Got 5 points, as well against Jonathan Boone. So right now, 4 guys have plus points, 3 guys have negative points, and we got Ryan Wallace at 0. Just reviewing it, Jeeves.
Yeah.
How important is it to avoid those landmines of, 0 or, minus points in your lineup?
Man, specifically that the lineups are locked, it's going to be tough. But, man, I'll say it again. It's what happens at the table. You could end up with another spectacular showing like Logan Greenhall, or it could go the other way for you. But yes, those goose eggs do suck right now. That does put you behind the ball, especially if you had someone like Brian Ellis. I know we were gung-ho about him. Ding was really excited to see Brian Ellis, but the rules in Power Slap are the rules for a reason. It's for striker safety. It's for the betterment of the sport. So this is what happens. And now that you have a negative score on your record, it's going to be tough. But we got another 9 weeks to go. So if you picked really good strikers in the rest of your spots, you might still stand a chance to get some of those higher up prizes.
Yeah. Playing devil's advocate here. We don't particularly know. I think there's going to be some twists and there's going to be some turns. Sure. If you want to head over to our YouTube channel, check out the Brian Ellis interview. He drops a very special little nugget. I was going to say it, but I won't, just in case.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Brian Ellis drops a nugget about what his future is in Power Slap. Is that foreshadowing? Do we see Brian Ellis back on the road to the title too? I personally don't know.
Well, you heard what Dana and Frank said in the episode. It was one of the not arguably the hardest hits they've ever seen in Power Slap. Yeah. So I think it'd be a miss for the fans if we didn't maybe possibly get to see Brian Ellis back.
I mean, who knows? The reality TV show, the rules are made up on the fly. We see a preview, our boy, Amir Nuruddin.
Yeah.
In it. He had his slap score. Have you seen him on the show yet?
Not yet.
Is he in the house?
Yeah. It could be one of those wild cards. You're right.
Maybe we see somebody back. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's happening? But go check it out. It's once again, I always keep saying it. No one's out working Slap News right now. Slap News is putting out 3 weekly shows. This show right here, the Stat Hero show, is coming out Monday. I know it's Tuesday, guys. Sorry, we're 1 day late on it. Otherwise, tomorrow, Wednesday, the final Slap, which is our live post-show coverage. We bring in special guests for that always, and that's something that you want to check out immediately after the episode is released every single Wednesday. And then on Friday, we got exclusive interviews and analysis, bringing you in-depth information with the fighters, breaking down the fights and getting, you guys more information that you get to know about the fighters, their daily lives, what makes them tick, and what gives them that hunger and motivation. So you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment in the section below if you'd like to see anything from us in the future.